if we don't resolve our energy future, I don't know, forget the lights staying on. How do we pay our way, John? I mean, if we're not even at a balanced budget to 2032, we've got $1 trillion of debt, we've got nothing left to sell. And I was there when we did T3 with Helen Coonan and the Howardies. We've got the NBN, well, who'd buy that? We've got Australia Post, that's not going to be sold. And that's why, I always knew that Star Trek sold off at the side. But broadly speaking, how do we pay for our future? I mean, the NDIS was meant to be $12 billion a year. It's going to be, according to Australian on the weekend, $40 billion a year. How do you have that debate with Australians about the NDIS, about aged care, about we've had 30 years of superannuation and we've still got the majority of Australians at older age on the pension. How does that equate? How can you be a young person in this country, fit and able, and you can live on the dole for the rest of your life? How do we tolerate that? How do we not say to someone under the age of 30, you get 6 weeks. You've fallen on hard times, you get 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, you've got to go and get a job. You got to knock on restaurant doors and wash dishes or mop floors, all the things that I am not too proud to say I did as a uni student. You got to do that.
That was, and we remember the passing of Andrew Peacock a number of weeks ago. Of course, that was the Liberal Party policy in the 1990 election. Targeted welfare and get people to get a job if they can work. What's changed? Is it the boom? Is it complacency? What's happening?
Well, I think in party politics, it's just trying to avoid a fight all the time. But I think that the best politicians embrace the fight. They look for the fight. They invite the fight, because the fight is the contrast between you and them. It's that point of division in the elector's mind, the voter's mind, that says that's what they stand for and that's what these guys stand for, and I'm more of that than that. If you don't create that contrast, then you're buying votes with taxpayer dollars with goodies, right? But if you can see, look at the Upper Hunter by-election, 83% of the votes cast on that weekend went to pro-coal candidates. That was a debate about coal. And the National Party won a debate for a third-term Liberal government on coal. And that had a, cavalcade of crises going into it, but they won on coal.
They had Malcolm Turnbull's Twitter account.
Well, you had, look, Tony Abbott won 25 seats opposing a carbon tax. It can be done, right? It can be done. But I think energy, if we can't pay for our future, if we are impoverishing ourselves in our industry and sending jobs offshore and all of that for nothing in terms of environmental gain, and we've got this looming dragon to our north who is, in an economic sense, growing stronger, and in a military sense, absolutely on the march, we are crazy. Like, learn your history. Go back to look at 1939 and you can see all of these lessons here. We have to wake up. We have to take the Australian people into our confidence and have these conversations. I am confident. If you look at that electoral history I talked about before, they are up for being treated like adults and brought into these debates and conversations. Have a debate about nuclear. Have a debate about China. Treat the public with respect about their level of intelligence and bring them with us. And I think the government could do it. Will they do it? I'm not so sure.